In the vast waters of the Atlantic Ocean, a silent yet high-stakes confrontation is unfolding. A confrontation that could push the fragile peace between two global powers to the brink. Russia, the United States, a shadow fleet, and we're calling this the Atlantic Standoff, and an oil tanker that's caught in the middle. What started as a routine chase could escalate into a full-blown international crisis. The high seas have long been a battleground for power, but today, tensions have reached new heights. A Russian submarine has been dispatched to escort an oil tanker pursued by U.S. forces through some of the most heavily patrolled waters in the world. But this isn't just any oil tanker. It's carrying something far more dangerous than just crude oil. It's carrying a defiance that has the potential to rock the geopolitical world. The U.S. Coast Guard attempted to board the vessel, an effort that was not only evaded but turned into a strategic maneuver as the tanker red flagged under Russian registration. This simple act of reflagging the ship has given it something powerful: legal protection under international maritime law. This act, though seemingly routine, sends a clear message, and it's one that Washington may not be prepared for. Russia's dark fleet has been a quiet but dangerous feature of this maritime drama for years. A fleet of vessels, unregistered, hidden in plain sight. These ships are the lifeline for Russia's effort to bypass Western sanctions by smuggling oil, bypassing regulation, and skirting global norms. Shadow fleet, an invisible menace. While official sanctions have crippled Russia's access to international markets, the shadow fleet has allowed Moscow to continue its vital exports, moving oil through a network of offshore havens and creating an underground supply chain that's difficult to trace and even harder to stop. A silhouette of a massive tanker. But now the world is watching. Washington is on the hunt, and tensions are building not just over this tanker, but over the broader conflict that this represents. Sanctions, retaliation, the stakes couldn't be higher. At the core of this standoff is a battle over sanctions enforcement. The U.S. has promised to hold Russia accountable through financial and military pressure, but Russia's strategy is clear: bend the rules, circumvent the restrictions, and avoid punishment. But as Moscow strengthens its resolve, Washington is left with a difficult choice. The U.S. Navy has already increased its presence in the region, but will that be enough to deter Russian aggression, or are we witnessing the beginning of a dangerous game of brinksmanship? Experts warn that a single miscalculation could tip the balance. One wrong move, one wrong order, and what could be an isolated maritime incident could explode into something much bigger or larger. A retaliatory strike, a diplomatic breakdown. The possibilities are chilling and endless, and all the more terrifying when you consider the fragile state of relations between the U.S. and Russia today. This isn't just a U.S.-Russia issue. This is a global issue. The consequences of this standoff will ripple far beyond the Atlantic Ocean. Europe, already struggling with energy supply issues, could see even more turmoil if Russia's oil continues to flow unchecked. And the broader geopolitical landscape could shift. NATO, the EU, the United Nations, all of them may find themselves caught in a complex web of alliances, strategies, and pressures. How long can the world avoid a larger conflict? Right? And more importantly, how long can the people caught in the middle of this tug of war hold on to their fragile peace? Right now, the world is teetering on the edge of something much bigger than an oil tanker chase. This is about military presence, international law, and the willingness of nations to push boundaries, literally and metaphorically. The Russian submarine already shadowing the tanker is a stark reminder that when nations clash on the high seas, the rules of engagement can quickly dissolve into chaos. If this standoff escalates, it's not just an economic or political risk, it's a military one. Every action taken by the US or Russia could set off a chain reaction that leads to direct confrontation. And with both sides locked in a bitter dispute over Ukraine, cyber attacks, and nuclear threats, the stakes have never been higher. So, what's next? As this maritime standoff unfolds, the world watches, holding its breath. Will diplomacy prevail, or will the rising tides of tension pull us all into deeper conflict? For now, we wait. But one thing is certain, the course of history may well change on these very waters. And the question is not just whether the oil will flow, but whether peace will survive the storm. Stay tuned. Guys, stay vigilant. We are going to bring you the news as we get it. But as you can see, things are escalating. Things are happening in the high seas, right? And on land. But who will prevail? Who will survive? Will peace survive? We're talking about this standoff. Who will come out of it winning? Or is this just a catastrophe waiting to happen? Let's see, guys. This is what I wanted to bring you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you're in the know, so you're informed, and you're staying vigilant in the news. So bye, guys.